Hello Cloud Gurus, and in this lecture we're going to look at Bootstrap scripts. Now, what's a Bootstrap script? Well, a Bootstrap script is a list of commands or a script that is run as soon as a EC2 instance goes live, and it's run at the root level. So it means you can do a whole bunch of automation, and if we have a look at a script here that I've written, basically, we'll just go line by line. So this first line you need in order to run the script. So it's just saying run this as soon as the instance goes live. And then on this line we're going to install Apache. So we're going to add the web server role to our EC2 instance. We're then going to go in and we're going to update the kernel. So we're going to apply all our security updates, make sure that the EC2 instance is completely up to date. And then we're going to copy the contents of our bucket A Cloud Guru to this directory, which is created when we install Apache, and that's basically just our web server directory. We're then going to, on this line, we're going to make sure that HTTPD, so Apache turns on automatically, the server starts automatically when the server is rebooted, and then we're going to go in and manually start the service. So if this works, we should be able to visit a web page, and what we'll do is we'll just go back to our console and we'll go to S3. And if you remember, in one of the previous lectures we created a test HTML page that said hello world, which was my new file. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to call it index.html. It's taking a little bit of time. There we go. Okay, so if all goes well, I should be able to provision a new EC2 instance, and without even logging in to the SSH terminal or even logging into the instance, we should be able to provision a web server and display a static web page. So let's go to EC2, and I've deleted my other instances, so we've got no running instances currently. I'm going to go launch instance. I'm going to use our Amazon AMI. And the reason for that is it comes with the AWS command lines pre-installed, and we're going to need it to do that, to copy that S3 bucket across. And do my T1 micro. Here, it's quite important, it's got to have access to S3, so we're going to grant it the S3 role access. And then if we just click on advanced details, this is where we enter our Bootstrap script. So I'm just going to cut and paste this script, and this script will be made available to you at the end of the lecture. You can feel free to have a play with it or write your own. So we can see basically it's in there. We're going to go in and add our storage, make it SSD. I'm not going to add any tags, and I'm going to use the Launch Wizard security group that I've been using in all the previous lectures. I'm going to go through and launch that. Okay, go to view our instances. It's going to take a little bit of time to power this up, so I'm just going to pause the video now, and then hopefully we'll be able to navigate to the IP address and we'll be able to see a web page that says hello world. So I'm just going to pause the video now. Okay, we can see that it's running and we've got a public IP address for it, so let's just go in and cut and paste that new public IP address. And if we go and open up a new tab, and there we go, hello world. So it has basically, we've used the Bootstrap script to provision our EC2 instance. That has then gone on and applied all our updates. It's installed Apache. It's then it's copied the contents of our S3 bucket to the root directory, the root directory for web servers anyway, and then it has started the service and it has configured the service to automatically restart on reboot. So if we actually SSH in to it, which I've already done, and if we go to cd var www.html, we can see the contents of our S3 bucket is already in there. If we also try and do a yum update, we can see that there's no packages marked for update, so it is already patched to the latest version. So you can see the real power behind Bootstrap scripts, and we use them a lot in conjunction with things like auto-scaling, because effectively it means that you can get a EC2 instance and build it up to a install all the things that you need on it and build it up to a level so that it can act as a web server almost immediately without you having to go in and manually start doing things at the command line. And that can be really useful in things like auto scaling events. So if you've got a website that you're running and you need to deploy web servers quickly, you don't want the hassle of waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning to go into the console and manually configure this. You want it as scripted and as automatic as possible. And this is one of the sort of true powers of the AWS cloud, is you can do that. You can, as you just saw, we just created a test web server and web page all by script, and I didn't need to log into SSH at all. It's even installed all the updates. So that's the power of Bootstrap scripts, and it really leads on to the next lecture where we're going to configure some auto-scaling groups and events. So if you've got the time, join me in the next lecture. Thank you.